We see so many games released every day that it's impossible to check out every single one, so that's why I'm here. I'm that indie games guy, and we'll be taking a look over some hidden gems that you might have missed last month. These might be games that are fantastic, but not many people have spotted them, like this channel, so I say we deep dive into 12 hidden gems that we might have missed. Let me know in the comments below if you've played any of these games, and let the show begin. We see so many dating games being released each and every month. We get the RPG side that allow romance on the side, and we get the not safe for work kind of games. But sometimes we get a game that breaks out of the normal within the genre, and the first game gave us a Lovecraftian horror that still gives me nightmares today. This is Sucker for Love, Date to Die For, a dating visual novel that looks rather nice and innocent until you turn the first page and the life as you know it has changed forever. Whilst investigating some mysterious disappearances from your hometown, you end up getting kidnapped yourself. Stuck and afraid, you look towards using the only item within this strange place, a pretty normal looking purple spellbook. Reading some of the words, you summon the all-powerful black goat of the woods, whose aura will affect everyone. Except you. You start to feel something different. Is this love? This game is all about going along with whatever your love wants you to do, even if you murder people, cut off your own limbs, and do so many more unspeakable things. It's all for love, right? So it's okay. Sucker for Love, Date to Die For has taken all the amazing features from the first game and vamped them up even more, giving us now fully interactive environments and a lot more endings for us to find along the way. This is a fun game that's just very weird. The first game was amazing, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone, so I can't wait to find out the story in this one. I hope all your dates go well. Phasmophobia really opened the doors on thriller games. We had similar games released before it, but I think the game being released during lockdown really pushed it forward, as it allowed people to watch friends scream when the ghost appeared. Yes, that happened to me a few times. This is FOREWARNED, and the best way to describe the game is Phasmophobia, but with more sand and mummies. This is a 1 to 4 person survival horror, where you'll need to enter long forgotten crypts with your fellow archaeologists to investigate the tomb, collect treasure, and survive long enough to banish the evil lurking within. Enter with tools at your disposal to take and tackle the strange beasts inside, each with different abilities, so you don't know what to grab until you're fully in the tomb. Hopefully you got all the essentials. I'm pretty scared of these games, so I'll always ask for backup. Take some friends with you so you can tell them to be the first through all the doors. It's safer this way, and with 12 maps to choose from, it's unlikely you'll be remembering the way anytime soon, as these maps are also procedurally generated to ensure each and every time you feel the same kind of dread like you did when you first entered. FOREWARNED might be a breeze for some people, but for the majority, this will have you slowly turning corners in a hope nothing is watching you. Oh, and it's also in VR, so if you want to really give yourself the full fright experience, go ahead and fully immerse yourself into Egypt. By this point, you're probably sat there thinking, what the hell is Jack doing showing us all these horror and thriller-esque games? And to that I say, I'm sorry, but these were all released in the same week, so please forgive me. There is something scary about the unknown, but you can find more horror in the known. Quote by me, May 2024. This is Pools, a psychological walking horror simulator that is all about exploring around pools, swimming pools. We all know them. We know of big swimming pools at centres or paddling pools, but this is different. This is the kind of game that messes with you by taking the things that we all know and changing them ever so slightly to the point we question if it's us or the game that's causing these weird feelings deep inside of us. The game has no monsters, no jump scares, no NPCs, and no music. This list just goes on. This is all meant to feel like you're all alone in a swimming pool, trapped with nothing but your own thoughts. Travel through this lonely place with only the sounds being that of your footsteps and water. It'll feel like you're really there, and that's the scary part. Being alone is a fear, and we often try to surround ourselves with people so this doesn't happen. The game pools cost nothing. You'll be able to boot up Steam now and play it fully, and it's a relatively short game that won't take you long. There is something about the aspect of this game that scares me. It's taking one of our deepest fears and putting it fully on display without really showing anything else. Normally a pool is a fun and pleasant place, but here it's a horror that most of us would want to stay away from. I just hope no one gets lost in this weird void. Here we have a bullet hell with a twist. Don't worry though, you'll still be shooting hundreds and thousands of bullets and lasers as you're surrounded on this hostile planet. This is Swarm Grinder, an action roguelike bullet hell that pits your battle bot against swarms and swarms of alien bugs, all trying to taste this lovely human. You'll need to upgrade and drive them back if you're to survive. Let's get to the twist. Normal bullet hells have monsters and creatures swarming towards you from outside the map. The unknown lands that just have them lining up ready to get you. Where did he come from? Nobody knows. But Swarm Grinder is different. You'll be able to see the alien eggs around you when you spawn in, and they'll only come out once you trigger them. Shoot them to get them to open, and shoot them down for resources on your upgrade list. But be careful, you might be able to make it through this nice and easily at first. But once you're surrounded, I'm sure you won't be as careful where you shoot, and you could end up getting more aliens than you wanted. Swarm Grinder is giving us something a little fresh within the genre, and seeing as it's now been released out of early access, this is the best time to look towards playing if you want to put yourself in harm's way for the greater good. Loads of new sections have been unlocked in the game, so let's go get us some alien scum. Turn-based card battlers will almost always be compared to Slay the Spire, being that it's the game that kickstarted this whole genre, and one a lot of people still regard as the greatest. Not a clone, as this game is definitely giving us something else. This is Fatermyth, a deck building RPG that has you battling like you would expect, until you realise this game has a dice rolling mechanic that will determine how much mana you gain that turn, kind of hands of fate if you will. You've just been saved by an unknown fisherman who pulled you out of the water when you had almost passed away. The fisherman invites you into the game of destiny, and after this moment, yours and multiple other lives will change forever. This game is set over thousands of years, from ancient times to the present day. Play as 7 different characters who have now all gained the power of fate, and will be tasked with saving the world. It literally sounds like something straight out of an anime or a manga. Fatermyth is giving us a fantastic story to go along with an already established genre that I love. This has the makings to be a deck builder to be remembered, and even though the game isn't English originally, the translation is fantastic, so you won't even know it wasn't to begin with. Old VHS tapes have such a cool filter to them that's still being used in media today. It makes whatever it's on feel older in a click, but it can also make things feel a hell of a lot creepier. That fuzzy static and the not fully in focus camera adds a lot to a horror. This is April 24th, and yes, I can confirm it was released on the same day. A psychological thriller. You'll play as a journalist who always gets their story. You're on a case and know of the main house in connection. The police have already entered, but you know they must have missed something, so you head inside when it's pitch black so you can go in under the cover of darkness. Once inside, you discover some VHS tapes that slowly piece together what happened on that fateful night. Relive the horrors that happened, as with each second you watch, you'll be driven to madness. And it might seem like you're not alone in this house either. It feels like eyes are watching you from the shadows. Are those of the people who are outside going to help us? Is it the police? Or do they have a more threatening malice behind them? April 24th is more a walking simulator than your typical run and hide horror. The things you'll see will no doubt give you a mini heart attack, as this eerie black and white VHS filter will have you getting closer to the screen to see what's in that corner before pouncing out at you. When a game show is going to evolve into the next stage, the final boss, the end of all shows. Looking back at Dead Rising 2, we had a game show about killing zombies for money, and now we have another glimpse into that future. This is Metaghost, the Breaking Show, a cyberpunk action roguelike that's about kicking back in the hit game show named Breaking Show. Fight against waves of advanced robots and some really big bosses as well. Just being an awesome fighter won't get you anywhere in this cyber world. Each and every fight is being live broadcasted, so you'll basically be aiming to be Twitch's #1 streamer. The more eyes catching your every move and you're fighting, the more likely you'll be to offered sponsorships, and more viewers as well. Those offer big payouts, so aim to be amazing. The beautiful graphics work so well here and have already sold me on the game. It's a mix of anime and comic. It's a stunning visual explosion that gets me excited to play. Metaghost, the Breaking Show, is a roguelike that offers different builds and buffs in each show that you participate in. Make sure you pick your favourite fighter, and then go show the world you're #1 around these parts. It's always nice when you see a game that went to Kickstarter actually get released into the big wide world. We see so many horror stories with games not being released or delayed, but with Virtua Unlimited project, we got the game and even more. This is an anime 2D platformer, which has taken inspiration from old Game Boy games, both in action and graphics, leaning into the stunning pixelated graphic background and the action being basically like Mega Man, but they're an anime girl. This classic platformer will be all about moving fast, dodging enemy attacks, and playing as a VTuber. That's right, the characters are real life VTubers that you might actually recognise. The VTuber trend has boomed over the last few years, and the backstory given to a lot of them are genuinely fantastic. If you have some time, just go and read up on some of them. The movement and action really gives you the more Metroidvania style we see, using dashes to dodge bullets and bouncing on the head of whoever stands in our way. And something I find really awesome, the bosses aren't just big robots, they're other modelled characters who will be willing to join your fight should you best them in combat. Virtua Unlimited project is giving us the classic Game Boy platformer, but with VTubers. A lot of people watch these daily, so it'll be nice to play as someone that you might actually look up to. But you can tell the game is a labour of love. If you're looking for something a little different, maybe check this one out. I really hope anyone who really enjoys farming games is making the most of Steam's Farming Fest right now. I know I've definitely been adding games to my library and been checking out some of the new demos, so I was super surprised to see this one kind of went under the radar last week. This is Oriental Valley, a farming life simulator set in the stunning setting in a more rural Japan. You'll play as Jia Zhong, who was on her way home, but somehow stumbles into a rather unknown village, and this small encounter kickstarts your whole new life. The village is full of secrets, and it's down to you to find them out. Start your new cozy life on this farm, planting and cultivating the crops until they're ready to be harvested. I will say I love the NPC design. They're just block white figures with eyes. I'll be the first to say that I don't go around and find all the NPCs in games to talk to them. So when I see this, it allows me to know which ones are important as they've been given a character model. I'm a fan, but it's probably not everyone's taste. Oriental Valley is a nod to the old settings we see in animes or games about the past, but given a fresher coat of paint. It might not be bringing anything new, but I love farming games for them just being chill and relaxing. I don't mind so much if I've seen it before, and with this one I can see myself getting lost for a few hours just by playing this game. We have another cozy game following on now. This has just been released out of early access, and I will say I'm shocked that this hasn't had more love. This is Diluvian Winds, a city building colony simulator that has you building a little hamlet for weary travellers who have managed to escape the storm. Make sure you keep your lighthouse lit, shining through the mists, as without you, no one would survive the seas. You'll play as the keeper, an adorable walrus who is tasked with looking after the hamlet. You'll need to greet new travellers and get to know them. Each bring a different skill to the table, and it'll be down to you to help them with any personal issues that they may have, so you can unleash the full potential within. Use the information they provide to upgrade your hamlet. Be on the lookout for traders who will bring goods to your pier for you to trade, and you get what you need and sell out surplus stock. This hamlet will need to grow if you want new people to arrive. You'll need to look towards offering new accommodation, but you don't actually have a lot of land. Will you head towards the skies, or will you look towards deep into the ocean? Diluvian Winds is a mix of resource management and city builder, but with cute animals being the ones who will populate your little world. Make sure to do right by them, and in turn, they'll do right by you. And that's the end of the hidden gems released last week. Let me know if you'll be playing any of the games that I've mentioned, or if you found yourself a hidden gem. Many thanks for watching as always, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye bye!